republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody have time to read the minutes, or we need minutes? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Kenny made the motion. Deanna seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, move on. Mandy Creech, solid waste. Not here, okay. We'll move on to Jamie Brown, Lifetime Resources.
Good morning, everybody. I'm actually Michelle Gaitis, the Director of Decatur. Decatur provides public transportation to anyone for any purpose within our 6-county service area, which includes Decatur County. In 2022, we provided over 7,000 trips to 125 individual Decatur County residents. I was here earlier this year and presented all our updates, so I won't go into all that right now. I believe you have a funding request in your packets. For 2024, we have allocated a total budget to Decatur County at $373,000 for transportation. We are kindly requesting $10,000 from Decatur County Council to help us meet our 100% matching requirement, which will help us leverage our Section 5311 federal funding. Your support will allow Decatur to continue to operate at our current level of service in Decatur County and provide essential transportation services to healthcare, employment, education, and other community resources. We appreciate your consideration and your support you've provided over the years. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Do I have any questions, concerns?
That request was the same as last year.
That is the same request as last year. Yes, we have an increase.
No questions or anything? We'll take a look at it in August.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time and consideration.
Lonnie Shields, Greensburg Adult Center.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for the opportunity to beg for more money. Really appreciate the grant you gave us last year. We're requesting the same amount if we can have that. Any extra funds you have floating around, we'll take it. We've had a pretty good year as far as response. The newsletter is going out to 420 residences now, so we've had an increase in that. We've had more groups come to the center. I think they enjoy the opportunity to come there and have play cards, do what they do instead of bringing it into their own homes. So that way I get to clean up after them. So works out well. Anyway, it's been really fun the last year, getting away from COVID, and look forward to another good year coming up. Any questions?
Do I have any questions?
Projects or anything that you're gonna need?
Looks like we're going to strip and wax the floor, so that's going to set us back about $2,400, but we're working on that. We're trying to get a grant to get an actual floor scrubber so we can do it ourselves. So kind of fingers crossed on that one. Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take a look in August. Kim Hausman from Yellowstone.
On behalf of Yellowstone, thank you for this opportunity to share a request with you. As you know, we focus on travel challenged juniors in high school from all 3 of our local high schools. There they learn to work together as a team and conquer whatever individual things that they need to on our 12-day trip to Yellowstone that is fully paid by Yellowstone. Our request has not changed from last year. We're requesting $7,500. We were very excited this year. We've actually had 16 of our local students that went on our trips, which is a first for our organization. The request that we have in front of you will pay for about 3.5 scholarships from our local high schools, the 4 local high schools. Any questions that I can entertain?
Anyone have any questions? Did 2 trips this last year?
Took 2 trips, 2 with 8 students on each trip. We just got back Friday night, Kenny, with our second group. And with them, 5 adults go and they prepay their own way.
What is it per person to go
For
for each student to go?
each student, we're estimating between 18,000 and 22,000. Van rentals have really increased this past year, jumped $3,000, which was a big hit for our organization.
Good cause.
Thank you.
Sir. Good luck. Okay, Chris Vogel, 4-H funding.
Good morning, everyone. So Nora is handing out everybody a copy of our proposed 2024 budget, where you will see our ask is not changed from last year. We're asking for $15,000 again this year. Some of the costs that we have went up due to inflation, whether it be purchasing items or trips. I know one of the things that we support are all of our 4-H youth going to different camps, to the State House, the Washington DC trip, and those went up about 25% from last year. So we were hit a little harder this year with that. We were able to cover costs at that point, but our numbers are up a little bit. So I see our budget being even tighter this year. Hopefully next year we will have more enrollment. Our total enrollment for the entire program this year was shade over 500, which is a little bit up from where it was last year. Hopefully with bringing Nora on, we'll be able to bring more on board, which will challenge you guys even more to be champions for 4-H for us. So, any questions?
What do you use our money, this money for?
This money? So that's where that budget kind of lays it out, and this is proposed, and this is based off of kind of projections from what we do last year. So our expenses are things like judging, livestock judging, those trips are the biggies. This year, one youth, it was $225. So some of that money we do, if families aren't able to pay that fee, the council will cover costs if it is approved through the council, and the council will pay for typically half of all of that cost too for all 4-Hers that are wanting to go. That's a pretty standard thing we've always done. Some other things that we do are like the banners, we do some graduation cords, things that just overall support youth to show them the county's behind them for putting in the time to be members of 4-H. So it's the general operating fund through the council at that level. So
You not do camp anymore?
So the camp is one of them. The $250 is the camp, and that cost went up because where the camp is held at Camp Higher Ground, the fee to be there went up quite a lot. I think we even got kind of a little bit of a break this year, just because we've been going for so long. So that's that big piece, and we sent around 20 kids to camp this year. So, and that was each one of those were paid half, and then a couple were paid full by the council, just to support, make sure that kids we're being inclusive, to help all kids get an opportunity to go to camp.
Do you do any kind of fundraisers?
So that is a great question. So that's one thing that as we continue to develop the program, we do have a endowment set up at the community foundation. So that's one of those things that we do get some income off of it. We get, I forget what the initial gift was, but we get a 1-year draw off of it, whatever the interest is, obviously. So one of the things that we're wanting to push more, we pushed it this year, but we're going to continue to push it, is if people want to support 4-H, that's one way that they can donate to that, and then we get that money back to help support income, and hopefully we don't have to rely so heavily on the county, because then funds could be distributed throughout other nonprofits. We have gotten a few grants this year, and those grants have went back to advance our agriculture projects, because that's what the grants specifically were stated for, and it's stuff that have kind of helped support the fairgrounds at some level too. So there are other areas that we're trying to find to diversify our income. Grants are certainly one thing that we've not been the best at. They do exist, just sometimes grants are so specific, tough to kind of work them in, but we hope to do more of that now that we have Nora with us, that we can utilize her for that, so.
Yeah, the only question I got, is I see your net income's in the hole.
Yeah, so, and that's where, so with it being a projected, even last year, something that's in the hole, so with these new projections, we don't know. Like with our tenure members or with our judges, because we have to have contracts with our judges, and we may have to negotiate with them, where this year, that was one of those things that we saw with inflation everywhere else, our judges asked for more, so each judge probably asked for $100 plus what was on top of what was asked last year, so that's one of those areas that is unknown, so we just kind of project for it and then hope that we cover the deficit as a projection, so. We could certainly change it to 20,000, and we would certainly welcome that if you'd like to cover that projected loss, but.
Any other questions, concerns? Check it out in August.
Excellent, thank you guys.
Thank you. See where that funds out. Matt, you want to kind of give us a little spiel here?
Sure. Good morning. Judge Day was going to try to be here. He's in court, so he asked me to come. He'd spoken with Danny previously. Had an employee that's going to leave at the end of this week. Got somebody that wants to restructure, go to a different department, a different area within the department, and posted the position for juvenile probation officer with Patty, and have been fortunate to have some interest from somebody with some experience. No decision's been made obviously yet, but this individual's salary is above what is budgeted. Last year, you guys approved a second juvenile probation officer. We've not been able to fill it. The interest hasn't been there amazingly in this day and age, but that money's not been touched for this year. So I know Judge Day had mentioned to Danny that we could supplement what's in the budget with that, so it's not going to be any more money that's not there. If this person comes to fruition, we're able to hire. So I just wanted to come in and answer any questions on what you guys may have, but basically just asking if it comes to fruition that this is the hire we want to make, to use that money that's budgeted for the second one. It's not going to cost any more towards the budget or whatnot, just to hopefully make that happen, because it'd be a game changer for our county if we could get this person in there.
What's the difference in what's available versus what they are asking? Would be
I think it's budgeted at 51. He makes 62 right now, so budgeted 38, I think, last year, and haven't touched it. So, and that's for a year's worth. So we're looking at potentially the last quarter of this year. So it did specific math, but the money's there. It's just a matter of how we go about getting in. So.
But then going forward, he would be at that level.
No, it'll be significantly higher than what we submitted to the budget for the hearings you guys will have, and we'll have to amend that if this person is hired. But it's still cheaper than what we had paid a long-time juvenile employee. It's probably going to be supplemented by probation fees anyway. Tax base hasn't changed since '03, so but hopefully this comes to fruition because it'll be a good hire.
So you're taking the salary that we budgeted for the other guy that you didn't hire. So this guy's paying that.
Right.
So then your budget for next year, you're taking that position out.
No, and Judge Day still has intentions of filling that.
So you're basically gonna raise your budget to cover this guy for next year.
Right.
Well, but you said you're gonna supplement that with probation fees.
Well, more than likely doesn't mean that you are.
It hasn't changed since '03, so yes, it will be.
And I don't think the money that we budgeted is used this year.
That's what I'm saying. So for now, purposes.
Money's budgeted for next year, if I rather hire, you
We're
get
not
this
gonna
guy,
go over that.
we hire him at $11,000 more than what we budgeted.
Not this
It
year.
hasn't changed since '03. The tax base portion has been supplemented with probation fees ever since then.
You know, once you hire, you don't ever go backwards, you gotta stay where you
I
are.
understand.
So
I understand, but in the
you're
climate
taking
of,
money out of one account to pay this guy, and then next year you hire somebody and you need that money in that account, then now we got $11,000 more or whatever it ends up being, then we gotta increase your budget next year.
Right.
So we're basically saying right now, if we would say, yeah, go ahead, then we're telling you that next year your budget can go up $11,000, we haven't even looked at it yet.
And I'm prepared for that because it's probation fees.
I don't like taking money out of one line item that we budgeted, put it over there, and then leaving that open to come back next year and say, we gotta have that. Now we've taken, we borrowed money from this account to pay that. So, and only because we haven't looked at the budget for next year yet, we don't know where we're gonna be until we see that.
Sure.
If you need it, you need it.
Any other questions?
Good.
I'm good. I mean, it's, I know we can do it this year, because you still got it in there. And you're gonna rearrange next year.
Like I said, for that specific position, and I'll just reiterate that, its county base has not changed out of that position since 2003. Ever since then, it's been supplemental probation fees. That's my intentions for next year. And that would change. I mean, that's the structure of how that position is funded.
And you can take care of what probation fees will be okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the intention. That's the funding source for that position for, well, it'll be 20 years. Yeah, that's my intentions of where that money would come from, the 11,000 gas bill.
Gotcha. Any other questions, concerns? Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else got anything for us before we go to the additionals and transfers? Sure.
I provided each of you a report on our commissary for the first 6 months. Just to review.
Okay. Homework.
First time I've ever got that, thank you.
Yep, thanks, sir. Okay, transfers. Everybody seen the transfers? Any questions? Rental on equipment, what's that like? Bobcats and stuff?
Excavator.
Excavator?
Actually, it was taken out of we're gonna be taken out of the right fund. Should have been taken out of King Bridge. So for some of those, so I just need to get that out. Put it back in status.
Get it out in red.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you got money to give.
I typed in the wrong name. I did.
You were Todd now instead of Todd out.
Yeah.
You got money to give.
Might want to change that.
I will.
Yeah, that's down there in the world.
Good catch.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to approve.
I still move.
Bill makes a motion.
I'll second.
Melanie seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Additionals. Okay. Got one here where the sheriff sold a Tahoe for $5,000, asking to appropriate that to use as payment for future vehicles. Everybody get that? Any questions, concerns? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Kenny makes a motion. Ashley seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Got one for $9,484.53. Commissary reimbursing county general for part-time employees payroll and FICA for the second quarter of 23. Did you get that one? Okay.
help me in?
It's commissary reimbursing county general for part-time employees payroll and FICA for second quarter of 23, $9,484.53. You wanna look at it? I'll send it down there if you wanna see it. Do what? Take a look at it.
It's not the next page.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Let me ask, do we get the day off or something? Okay, so it's coming out of commissary and going into county general. Yeah, gotcha.
Anybody else want to look? Everybody understand? Okay, entertain a motion to approve. Ashley makes a motion to approve. Deanna seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have one more here, and it's a request from the auditor for $7,500. She has one on maternity leave, and she would like to hire another, if I get this right, another part-timer, Jan?
Correct.
She's asking for $3,500 for part-time on auditor, and auditor overtime, $3,500, $7,000. Want to read?
So there's, you got one out, you said,
Got one on, yeah, one on maternity leave.
one's out.
She's got one part-time, she wants another part-time.
You
Am I reading
reduced
that
me by
right?
one deputy, so it's
So when she
been
comes,
hard.
Yeah, I can.
when she comes back, will you go back down to one part-time then?
Possibly, and again, part-time is subject to their schedule sometimes, and not just sit waiting for a phone call. So I like to be able to juggle, August is a budget month. So that's another busy month, we could use 2 part-timers.
That's 75.
$7,000. One of the girls.
And if we don't need it, we won't spend it.
Or
So if we don't need it, we won't spend it, I guarantee you.
we got it covered.
I need to be able, because there is a lot of busy time.
Was it, did you have part-time help in your budget already?
I do, yes.
You have one part-time now.
Okay, all right, have you used all your part-time monies already?
Just about.
Okay. All right. Can't go on maternity.
No,
Any questions? Any other?
no, I'll make the motion. We'll allow her.
Bill makes a motion to approve that addition.
I'll second.
Melanie seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. While they're signing that and sending it back, Mark, you got anything for us?
I don't think so.
Todd? Doc? Ryan?
Yeah, I will say that Ready 2.0, the second round of the ready funds from the state, coming out, we're getting more information on it. The steering committee started to meet to review what projects were in the original strategy for the first round. Ones that didn't get funded, because we originally, just to refresh, we originally asked for 50 million and had matching funds for 50 million. Well, we're awarded only 20, so some of those projects had to be cut. We're reviewing those projects, still looking to see if they are viable projects. These projects were based on public input and various focus groups, and that both here locally and regionally. Well, we're also looking for possibly new projects to insert into this next round. So I know Deanna served on the steering committee previously, but you know, we'd love to have the council's input as well. And if you guys have some projects that are on the horizon that you want to be thinking about, make sure you get in touch with me or Deanna or anybody like that to talk about some key funding opportunities for those projects. That's
That it?
more and more, that's what I thought about.
Ready, Grant? Anybody else? Anything? Good.
Now I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Anybody supposed to adjourn? 30 seconds. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Pretty sure.